Hey folks, it's Thursday. We're almost at the weekend. Welcome back to Money and Politics. It is October 28th. Don't forget to get your candy if you haven't. I haven't bought any to hand out. I always buy it on the 30th or 31st because if it's sitting around, I'm going to eat it. So I'm a Snickers guy myself. Hope you, I didn't come to you last night. I thought I was going to. And I'm going to be talking to you tonight. Let me tell you something I'm not going to be doing. I'm going to change this setting here. Let me move that down. Let's move that down here. Apologize. I thought the Illinois legislature, which you don't have to care about, but it's in, and I was covering it, so there were some big debates being made. Tonight, I am not going to be talking really at all about Humble because I don't have anything to say about Humble. It's at 65 cents. No news. We're waiting for the third quarter earnings. I'm not going to just repeat, what we've talked about before. That's nothing negative. Don't take it as a negative or me just that if I'm a news guy and I want to report news, I don't want to report non-news, and right now there's no news on Humble. There's Money Politics. All right, so I'm sorry. I just got off a 2-hour phone call. So what I wanted to talk to you tonight are two stocks that I've talked about in the past, but I haven't talked about them a whole lot. And the first one I want to bring to your attention again is Voyager Digital, which is a coin platform, a digital currency platform. And there's some news that has been coming out on this. And let's take a look at the stock price. So you can see, first of all, the symbol there. V as in Victor, Y, G as in George, V as in Victor, F as in Frank, Voyager Digital. And let's take a look at what happened. And we see today this $14.20 stock went up $3.86, a 37% move. And when you get a move that's 37% in one day, that's worth talking about, especially when it's not just a penny stock. So there's the one-day chart. Let's take a look real quick at a month, and you can see how it has been moving of late. Why? Well, that's why I wanted to bring this to your attention. Number one, two stories that are worth bearing. Voyager, look at the headline here. Voyager Digital secures $75 million strategic investment from Alameda Research. And the other thing is, if we look down to the next story, Voyager Digital becomes the official cryptocurrency brokerage partner of the Dallas Mavericks. That's Mark Cuban's, is the owner of that. And Mark Cuban, of course, is involved in quite a lot of things. So he's not just a basketball owner. And so it's interesting that he picked Voyager Digital. And so I wanted you to become aware of that. I was looking for my notes. I'm going to go from memory. Part of the things I was talking about with a friend when we talked for 2 hours, that apparently the thing is that Voyager is licensed to be in Europe, and many of the other platforms are not, so that they also may be going live in France in about March. Now, my friend who I was talking about thinks that Voyager, I'm almost reluctant to say where he thinks it'll go, but if it goes where he thinks it'll go in the next 3 to 6 months, this would be up over 100%. I'm not saying that. I'm reporting what my friend said, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. I didn't want it to go up. And when you see that kind of movement, and then look at the volume, the average 10-day volume for Voyager here was 672,000 shares traded, and today it did almost 4.3 million shares traded, rounding up a bit there, 4 points. So that's number one. That's worth talking about. I'm not going to go real long here tonight after being on the phone for so long. The other one that we have talked about in the past is also Zynex, and you might remember I've interviewed the CEO, Thomas Sandgaard, and I hope to do that again. They are headquartered out in Denver, and they use electronic devices to control pain. And what is newsworthy here is that their earnings are going to come out before the market opens on Tuesday. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, ZYXI. I hope after the earnings come out, maybe not Tuesday, but shortly thereafter, to do another interview if I can with Mr. Sandgaard. I'll reach out to him. And so I think because, let me bring up real quickly here their page. I want to go back down here and take a look at the chart here, if I can get this to cooperate. And you can see the explosive growth on the right side, the green bars there. We've talked about this again before. Explosive growth in sales, but not an explosive growth in earnings. However, the reason that Mr. Sandgaard said they didn't have an explosive growth in earnings is because he was putting money back into hiring a lot more salespeople. And that, from what I understand, their salespeople, first of all, it takes a while to get them going. You got to hire them. And then it takes a while to get them trained to where they're producing. What I'm thinking is that, or if I'm remembering right here, that their sales, they think their salesmen can do up to in the area of $1 million a year per person. But a lot of these salespeople right now, as they go into, like, say, their first year, they're going to be going more in the neighborhood of their sales volume of maybe $300,000 a year in sales, which would mean, if their projections are right, or at least what I've been told by an analyst, is that not only are they going to have a lot more sales because they put on a lot more people, but that there is going to be a progression in the sales volume of these salespeople. And as any manager will do, as Mr. Sandgaard told me when I interviewed him, you know, if you get a sales guy and they're not working out, you get rid of them, you hire someone else. So I'm going to be looking, as we look at these earnings here that are going to be coming out, their third quarter earnings, how are they doing? Are they growing their bottom line? How is the top line growing? How is the bottom line growing? And that we should be getting around Tuesday before the market opens. So those are the two things that I really wanted to bring to your attention. You can do some of your own research, but if you hadn't heard me talk about it before, we got, again, a bit of an uptake in today, up 2%. After hours, you can see up about a 0.5 point. In the last year, this has had a high of $22. Last time I talked about this, it was right at the 52-week low. It was at about $10. And I said at the time, well, heck, if it even just goes back to $12, you're going to make 20%. So there you go. And it wasn't all that long ago. If I go to a month ago, it's right about here, right around October 4, just earlier this month, that it's probably about the time that I was talking about this last time. The volume, 221,000, that's a little below what they're, not too far off the low of what the 10-day average is, so it was about normal. Anyway, what the point is here, that we're going to see where the company is going, and then hopefully, I can't promise, but hopefully I'll be able to do an interview with Mr. Sandgaard as we go along. So that's it for really about today. How's that for making it short? About 10 minutes long, covered two stocks. As always, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I did post a little today. If you want to send me an email, there's that. And of course, if you would, click and subscribe. I appreciate that too. Again, sorry I didn't get back to you last night. I don't know if I'll be with you tomorrow night. If I can be, I will be. It just got to be busy. I was actually working till probably at least midnight last night because the legislature was in long on two big bills. I'm not going to bring them up here, but the point is they were bigger than your average. So with that said, I'll let you go. I hope you have a good night, folks. I'm looking for my out video, and I can't find it. So I guess I'll just fade to black. I was, as you can kind of tell, I was rushing to get some of this stuff done because I was delayed by the long phone call I had with some friends, one of my contacts that were talking about investing. Anywho, that's it. We're going to continue following, of course, all the stocks we follow. One thing, just before I sign off, what did INMD, let me throw out two other things real quick now that I think about it, and I apologize. One, InMode, which I've talked about probably lately as much as Humble, but their earnings just came out, and you can see they were up another 7% today, another $6 a share. They had gone down a little bit the other day when they came out, and I talked about that. That was the last thing I talked about, the stupidity of people selling at $80. Well, there you go. Now it's at $89. Where do I think this could be in 3 to 5 years? Who knows? I'm not promising anything, but could this stock be $300 a share? I think it could be. As I said, they tripled their revenues, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, the point is, I think it could be. In the short run, sometimes you get a stock get a little ahead of itself. But right now, if you don't have it, I would say buy a position, even if it's a small position, and then if it comes down, buy more. This is a company that is making a lot of money. So this is not a startup. This is a company that, as I said the other day, is in the growth. So that's something there. You can see solid revenue in the green and solid earnings in blue. And the investment world has awakened to this. And so that is a company that I would suggest that you would want to take a position in. Now, this reminds me, almost an identical symbol, because InMode is IN, as I say, it's like Indiana medical doctor, INMD. And what is the other symbol that is almost identical, a penny stock that we have talked about? And that is INND, Ida, Nancy, David, INND. I did talk about this before. This is not something I'm pounding the table. You should own InMode. I am not pounding the table here, but Interscope, the hearing aid company, has recently, it wasn't that long ago. Earlier this year, they were at 4 cents a share. Let me lean in and see what's the 52-week high here. It's almost 9 cents, but it wasn't that long ago. It was 4 cents. Let's see, was this... well, anyway, that's the day. I'm sorry. Let's go back. So what the thing is, you can see where they were in the past, 6 months ago. And so year to date, they bought another company. If you've seen these commercials where the fellow's going, "Hey, Dad, I love you," and the guy's going, "What? I can't hear you. What?" So it says here, Interscope Technologies is acquiring Hearing Assist, Walmart's largest hearing aid supplier. So there you go. And that they are going to have on November 4 as you can see here, an investor conference call, live webinar. It'll also be taped. But if you want to listen in on November 4, go to Yahoo Finance, put in IN, Ida, Nancy, Nancy, David, INND, click on that, and then you can register to watch the investor call, or as you say. So this might be a stock. I know a lot of the humble investors like penny stocks. Well, here you go. This is a penny stock. 1.5 cents. And this, again, I'm not pounding the table on this necessarily. However, if you look at the volume traded today, let me go back to the one-day chart here for a minute, where the average daily volume is 45 million shares, and today they did 471 million, just under 471 million. So like 10 times the daily average. Well, that's something. That's a new foundation. So there you go. If you want to put some funny money, and by the way, folks, I've mentioned this before. Why don't you? It's a great way to both invest for your children's future as well as get them to learn investing. Start a custodial account for your younger children. I mean, even if they're 1, you can do it. But I can also say, if your kids are, I don't know, 7 years old, 8 years old, okay, this is the kind of thing where you could throw $20 into that penny stock literally at a penny. You know, it's 1.5 cents. Let's say you got 1 share is 15 cents, or 10 shares is 15 cents. So you got 10, you know, it's like going to cost you nothing. You could throw $50 in there, and you know, they'd have like 300 shares or something. And if you want, you could play a game. You could say every time it goes up to some amount of money that you're going to give your kid a quarter or something, so that way they can get the idea that as stocks go up, you know, they get a little reward. It'd be a great way to get them into psychologically following the market and sitting down and talking to them, and get them away from just you know, playing a video game. Have them look at how the stock market works, and then when they start following, you could say, hey, here's our 10 stocks. And there you go, and you can do that. It's a great way. Once kids get the idea that they should focus on investing, that is a great thing for them to learn, and have it be something that they can count on doing, and not have it be you know, a stranger to them. So with that, I've gone long again. Aren't you happy? Okay. Don't eat too much of the Halloween candy. Go out and buy it if you haven't already. And wherever you are, if I don't talk to you on tomorrow night, I hope you have a great weekend. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll certainly see you between now and Tuesday, okay? Take care, folks. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment if you would, and subscribe if you would. I appreciate it.